A single city fell, and the world was never the same again. But the empire that conquered Constantinople began with something far smaller, one forgotten frontier tribe. The mighty Seljuk Sultanate was collapsing, while the Byzantine Empire struggled to survive. Between these fading giants, a dangerous opportunity quietly emerged. Its leader was a warrior named Osman I. Few imagined that his name would one day define an empire stretching across 3 continents. Historians agree that Osman founded the dynasty, but many details of his early life remain uncertain. The legend is powerful, yet the evidence is surprisingly limited. From a modest frontier principality, Osman prepared for a future no one could predict. The first step toward an empire was about to begin. Around 1299 AD, Osman declared his independence as Seljuk authority weakened. Historians generally regard this moment as the symbolic birth of the Ottoman Empire. Osman's greatest strength was not a massive army, but loyal frontier warriors known as Ghazis, who believed they were defending and expanding the Islamic frontier. Their first targets were weakened Byzantine forts along the frontier. Each small victory brought land, wealth, and new followers to Osman's growing state. Many local communities accepted Ottoman rule peacefully, while others resisted fiercely. Expansion came through a mixture of warfare, diplomacy, and shifting alliances. By the time Osman grew old, his small frontier principality had become a rising regional power. Soon, leadership would pass to a son ready to dream even bigger. When Osman died around 1324 AD, leadership passed to his son, Orhan Bey. He inherited not just land, but a vision that was beginning to reshape history. Orhan transformed a warrior state into an organized government. New laws, stronger administration, and permanent institutions gave the Ottomans lasting stability. In 1326 AD, the Ottomans captured Bursa, their first great city. It became the empire's capital and a symbol of its growing ambition. Bursa quickly flourished as merchants, scholars, and craftsmen arrived from across the region. Wealth and knowledge now strengthened the young Ottoman state. With Bursa secure, Orhan looked beyond Anatolia. Across the narrow waters lay Europe, where opportunity and conflict waited side by side. Europe's political landscape was deeply divided. Civil wars within the Byzantine Empire created opportunities that Orhan could not afford to ignore. In 1352 AD, Ottoman forces crossed into Europe to support a Byzantine claimant during a civil war. What began as an alliance would soon change history forever. Just 2 years later, in 1354 AD, a powerful earthquake devastated the fortress of Gallipoli. The Ottomans quickly occupied the abandoned stronghold. Historians agree the earthquake opened an unexpected door, but debate continues over how much planning preceded the occupation. The result, however, was undeniable. For the first time, the Ottomans held permanent territory in Europe. A frontier state had become a transcontinental power, and there was no turning back. With Gallipoli secured, Ottoman forces advanced deeper into the Balkans. What had begun as a foothold was becoming a permanent expansion into Europe. After Orhan's reign, Murad I inherited an expanding state. He transformed steady growth into an organized campaign of conquest across southeastern Europe. Around 1361 to 1362 AD, the Ottomans captured Adrianople, known today as Edirne. The city soon became the empire's new capital in Europe. From Edirne, Ottoman armies could move quickly across the Balkans. The city became the empire's military and political gateway into Europe. As the Ottoman frontier pushed forward, neighboring kingdoms realized the balance of power was shifting. A decisive confrontation was now becoming inevitable. In 1371 AD, Ottoman forces faced a coalition of Serbian nobles at the Battle of Maritsa. By dawn, the balance of power in the Balkans had changed dramatically. The victory forced many Balkan rulers to acknowledge Ottoman supremacy. Some chose resistance, while others accepted vassal status to preserve their kingdoms. Murad strengthened the army with greater discipline and organization. These reforms helped transform battlefield success into lasting imperial expansion. Not every campaign ended in an easy victory. Supply lines, mountain terrain, and determined resistance constantly tested the empire's ambitions. By the late 1380s, the Balkans stood on the edge of a defining conflict. Both sides prepared for a battle that would echo through history. On the 15th of June 1389, the armies met on the Kosovo plain. The battle would become one of the most remembered and most debated events in Balkan history. The fighting lasted for hours, with enormous losses on both sides. Contemporary sources disagree on many details, but they agree the battle was devastating. During or shortly after the battle, Sultan Murad I was killed. Historians debate the exact circumstances, but his death is firmly recorded in history. Despite losing their sultan, the Ottomans remained organized. Leadership passed swiftly to Bayezid I, preventing chaos at the most critical moment. The Battle of Kosovo left no easy answers, but one fact was clear. Ottoman influence across the Balkans emerged stronger than ever, setting the stage for an even greater empire. Bayezid I moved with remarkable speed, earning the nickname Yildirim, the Thunderbolt. His rapid campaigns stunned both allies and enemies across the Balkans and Anatolia. As Ottoman influence spread, European kingdoms formed new alliances. They believed only a united force could stop the empire's relentless advance. In 1396 AD, the two sides met at the Battle of Nicopolis. It would become one of the most decisive clashes between the Ottomans and the crusading armies. The Crusader charge collapsed under disciplined Ottoman tactics. Bayezid's victory shocked Europe and confirmed the empire as a dominant military power. Yet at the height of Ottoman success, an even greater threat was rising in the east. A conqueror named Timur was already reshaping Asia, and his path was leading toward Bayezid. By the early 1400s, two of the world's greatest conquerors stood on a collision course. Neither Bayezid nor Timur was willing to step aside. Diplomatic letters were exchanged, but neither ruler softened his position. Tension escalated as both empires gathered massive armies. On July 20th, 1402, the two armies met near Ankara. One of medieval history's most significant battles was about to begin. Timur's experienced forces and shifting loyalties within Bayezid's army changed the course of the battle. The Ottoman lines slowly began to collapse. Bayezid was captured after the battle, a confirmed turning point in Ottoman history. The empire that had seemed unstoppable suddenly faced its greatest crisis. After Ankara, the Ottoman Empire entered a period known as the Interregnum. Bayezid's sons fought each other for the throne, pushing the empire to the edge of collapse. For more than a decade, uncertainty replaced momentum. Yet despite civil war, the empire's institutions proved stronger than many of its enemies had expected. In 1413 AD, Mehmed I reunited the empire after defeating his rivals. His victory restored stability and gave the Ottomans a second chance to rise. Rather than chasing immediate conquest, Mehmed I focused on rebuilding. He strengthened the government, restored the army, and reunited a fractured state. When Mehmed I died in 1421 AD, his son Murad II inherited a restored empire. Ahead of him stood fresh rebellions, powerful rivals, and one city that still refused to fall, Constantinople. Murad II defended the empire against repeated rebellions and foreign invasions. His victories restored Ottoman confidence and prepared the next generation for an even greater destiny. When Murad II died in 1451 AD, his 21-year-old son, Mehmed II, became sultan. Many European rulers underestimated the young leader. Mehmed believed Constantinople was the key to the empire's future. He ordered new fortifications, expanded his army, and began preparing for a siege unlike any before it. Massive cannons were designed to challenge the legendary Theodosian walls. For centuries, those defenses had protected Constantinople from countless enemies. By the spring of 1453, everything was in place. The fate of Constantinople and the future of the Ottoman Empire was about to be decided. On the 29th of May, 1453, after weeks of relentless siege, Ottoman forces entered Constantinople. The Byzantine Empire, which had endured for over 1,000 years, came to its historic end. Mehmed II entered the city as its new ruler and later became known as Mehmed the Conqueror. Constantinople would soon become the heart of a growing global empire. Over the centuries, the Ottoman Empire expanded across Southeast Europe, Western Asia, and North Africa. Yet, like every great empire, it would eventually face decline before its dissolution in 1922. The Ottoman story is more than a tale of conquest. It is a history of leadership, ambition, reform, resilience, and the rise and fall that shapes every civilization. Empires may rise and fall, but their stories continue to shape our world. Thank you for watching Amazing Bassett. Subscribe for more cinematic documentaries as our logo slowly fades into darkness.